Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Like I said, had a baby, which was awesome. That's great. But obviously that comes with a lot of time given to the baby, which means that in the middle of this project I had to stop, and when I did get a chance to work on it, I just tried to knock it out, and I didn't get the videos like I would normally do. And so I just wanted to do a really quick walkthrough to show you kind of what we did. A few things I do want to mention. As you saw, the pedal change, I took some pedals out, like the Q-Tron, a fantastic pedal, but just really didn't need it for what I was using it for in worship. And then the two that I took out that was really important and noticeable was the X Drive and the X Vibe. So amplitudes, modulation, and drive digital effects, multi-effects pedals. First, let me say both are fantastic pedals. The drive was almost all distortion, which I didn't use, and the overdrive are just a little noisier than I really wanted. So I decided to switch to analog overdrives, try to cut down the noise a little bit. X Vibe is one of the greatest modulation pedals I've played, but I used like 2 of them out of, you know, how many effects there are. There's like I think it comes with 100 and something presets, and then you can do that many more. I just like phasers and flangers. It was great. I just didn't really use them a ton. So I decided to go ahead and get something I would use more. So having said that, I want to show you the board. Now this is the finally finished, close to finished board. Because what I want to do eventually is I want to downsize. I want to get a smaller board. Okay, there's a few pedals that I can replace with here and kind of create some more space. And I want to get probably more to a modeling. I've got the simplifier right now, which is great, but I'll probably move to something like a Tonex, HX Stomp, or something like that, and that you can get a little bit more variety on amp sounds and a little bit more flexibility than what you just have there. Even though that I love the analog feel, it's great, but because I do play more than just worship, I want something a little bit more versatile. And right now, this is set up almost entirely for worship. So having said that, let me walk you through the board. So it's Gator power supply. You kind of see I got the cables just kind of squished there for now, because like I said, this will change soon. I got the whiteboard tape here so I can write down some notes for songs, set lists, presets, things like that. So the chain starts with the tuner. Let me plug this in so it'll light up. Peterson Strobo Stomp. I love that because the sweeten tuning, which does make a difference. So I've got that set up to be always on, so regardless whether I'm playing or not, it's there, and it helps me just know whether I'm in tune or not on the fly. From there, I'm moving to the Source Audio EQ2. So this is just an EQ pedal, but what I love about it, and the reason that I have it, is it's got presets. So preset 1 is set for my main Strat, which has Custom Shop 69 pickups. Preset 2 is used for my other Strat, which I've got mini bucker and a lace pickup in the bridge. I'm sorry, the neck in the middle. And then for the bridge pickup, which is a twang banger, it's kind of it's my most versatile guitar. So this is a Telecaster sound, so I've got it set up for that. And if I switch guitars, I can just hold this down and it'll switch to the preset that I want. Also got a volume input, so my pickups are different. If I switch to a humbucker pickup guitar, it's going to have a hotter output. I can adjust the volume so the same volume's going through. So that's always on, and my compressor is always on. And I've just got this, as you can see, it's not even set very high. It's just enough to kind of carve off some of the heavy, high-end, harsh sounds, especially from single coils. The pure octave from Moore, I've got a sub octave and an octave up. I use this a lot for swells, and actually this pairs well with the tube screamer type pedals for like solos and stuff if you're using the octave lightly. Here's a boost I've got set to basically be transparent, but the reason I have it here is I've got it before my two drive pedals. This can be a drive, but the main point of this pedal is actually to just create drive in these pedals. So if I just want a little extra oomph, I can put this on and it'll kind of provide that. LA Lady, it's got 6 presets, 2 channels, 3 presets each, and it's got a ton of different engines you can pick from using the software. So I've got a Tube Screamer, a DS1, OCD, a Bender. Like I've got all these set up here, and it's MIDI controlled. So you'll see here the Source Audio has its own MIDI programming, so you've got to get adapters for that, so you can see that. Now something really cool is all of this is on a custom made riser. So my friend Elijah Hall, I go to church with, 3D printed this, designed this. Fantastic. All my power cables and stuff are hidden underneath here, and they're just coming out the back, so really cleans up the board a lot when you're working with a flat board and not something that you can hide the cabling underneath. So from the LA Lady, we moved to the Coliseum. Love this pedal, but basically it's a clone on one side and a blues breaker circuit on the other. You can play them separately, you can stack them, so just lots of different options here, but really great pedal. Now this chain here, it ends with this pedal and goes into the input of the simplifier. Now the simplifier is an amp simulator, so it's simulated amplifier, which is where the name comes from. But in this case, it's got 2 sides, so it's got an amp here and an amp here. And basically you can simulate a preamp, a power amp, and the cabinet and speaker. Okay, so this is set up on like a Vox AC30, Fender 65 combo deluxe reverb, and the Marshall Plexi stack is basically what it's set up to be. And you can mix and match. So I mean, you can see right now that I've got the Fender preamp, the Marshall power amp, and the Vox cab simulation, and I've got set to blue, or the black, which is the black face speaker like this Fenders came with. Now on the other side, you've got an AC30 treble boost, and you've got, I think it's the Bassman, is, if I'm remembering right, is what the USA is, and then you've got your JCM 800 on here as well for the Marshalls. This is basically these amps with more hair, and same options here. Now what's really cool is you can set this to run as two separate amps with speakers and everything, or the way that I've got it set is basically I've got my preamp and power amp running, and all of my dry signal that I just showed you is going in here, but the output is actually using this side for the left and this side for the right. So I'm pushing out a Fender style cab sim on the right, a Vox style cab sim on the left, a black back speaker on the left, and a green back speaker on the right, and you can change all of that. And when you're wanting to change, so my clean sound is set to amp B, but if I want to get something a little heavier, I've got this one set more on the Marshall side. It's got the switch here. I just click that, and as soon as I click that, it's switching to the different amp. So that gives me a lot of versatility. It's like having two amps and an amp switcher here. So anyway, my dry signal, all my drives going in there, and then I've got my my effects loop. So my send is going to the spark. This is just a transparent boost. So if I want more volume for like a solo or a lead lick or something like that, but I don't want the tone to change, so I don't want to drive the preamp, I don't want to drive my pedals, this is after the preamp section. I'm literally only increasing the volume of the tone that I already have. That's it. From there, volume pedal. It can be a wah pedal when you flip the switch, but for worship, obviously I just use this as a volume. And then it moves to the synesthesia, which I love this pedal. So basically what this is modulation, but you can run two at once. So you can, like in this one I've got set, it's a detune setting, like what Eddie Van Halen would kind of use, and a vibrato. It sounds great in ambient music, right? And you can use them as two separate pedals, or you can save presets where I click that, it's going to run them, and then I click that, and it's got a different setting for that. So all kinds of cool things there. Now from here, I'm running in mono from the volume pedal, but I'm leaving stereo, and I'm going to X time delay. So the delay amplitude, I love this pedal. I would put this up against amplitude any day of the week. I mean, it's that good. And it's got tap tempo. It can be controlled via MIDI, or it can control other tap tempos via its own MIDI sending. So a great pedal. 16 different delays you can choose from with infinite settings, and that's going into the reverb. Same thing, I would put it up against Strymon stuff any day. But yeah, so you're 16 different settings. You can change all MIDI controllable, and then it's leaving here, leaving stereo, going into this, and then like I said, it's going out. It's got two XLRs back here that I can go straight to the front of house with, or it's got some outputs there that I can go into flat response speakers, or I could actually bypass that and just go straight into an amp, and I'm just bypassing the simplifier in general and using my pedal board, which is a fantastic option as well. Then the last thing that I want to show is I got the MIDI controller here. And this is great because using the presets. So for example, this past Sunday, if you can see the pedals, I click one button and it's changing all these settings. You can literally turn this pedal on using MIDI without having to reach across that as well. So, but that's the rig rundown. That's where I'm at now. I'll have this for a while until I kind of get some other things together. I want to use a MIDI loop switcher, something maybe like the RJM's Mastermind type thing, or maybe pair Morningstar up with the MIDI loop switcher, just to kind of streamline things more. I'm able to use presets more. But anyway, I hope that makes sense. I hope to do a sound video soon to show you kind of what some of this sounds like, especially with my Strat. It sounds great. And but until then, there you go. There's the project. Thanks for watching.